I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. This is Cognitive Load Theory, Discussion Board 3. Cognitive load theory is a foundation of instructional design principles built on the characteristics and connections between the structures that make up human cognitive construction, specifically working memory and long-term memory. The theory assumes that human cognitive architecture is a natural information processing system. The main idea of cognitive load theory is that effective instruction should preserve the learner's cognitive load, which is also known as working memory, and it should be within his processing capacity limits at all times. This is due to the fact that cognitive capacity in working memory is limited, so that if a learning task requires too much capacity, learning will be impaired. DeLong, 2010. Intrinsic cognitive load is defined as the cognitive load essential for reaching specific learning objectives by a learner within a certain level of prior knowledge. It is important that learners have the necessary working memory capacity for accommodating this load. If there are insufficient resources, learning objectives may need to be revised to decrease the required intrinsic load. Alternatively, if the available resources are underused, the learning objectives should be revised to increase the required intrinsic load. Consequently, the major goal of cognitive load theory is optimizing intrinsic cognitive load. Another way of keeping cognitive load within its processing limits is to decrease non-essential cognitive activities. These activities that are not necessary for achieving specific learning goals. They produce a wasteful load better known as extraneous cognitive load. Wong et al., 2012, suggests that extraneous cognitive load is the load that ascends from instructional design practice and is within the control of the instructional designer. This type of load is typically imposed by cognitive activities that a learner is involved in because of the way the learning tasks are designed and presented. Suggestions for improving teaching and learning in this area are considering the learner's level of expertise, providing sufficient guidance to students in the absence of relevant knowledge structures, reducing split attention, using multiple modalities, and eliminating redundancy in instructional materials.